mystery injury. Now, how long he's going to last is the big question. Now, I believe that Norths without Daryl Duncan are like a ship without a rudder. West, on the other hand, Gavin Duncan, he'll be pulling all the strings, and they've got a forward pack that's really firing. Now, I think that West will have too many guns today here at Purtell Park, which I think is going to be a really fiery clash.
And Norths led out by Daryl Duncan. Keen to get out there. The lineup at fullback, Pat Chumavave. On one wing, Guy Harvey. Brett Kelso and Noel Tierney in the centres, with Danny Cramery on the other wing. Mark Kellaway is 5'8", Craig Groff halfback. Ian McKenzie at lock forward, Daryl Duncan and Wayne Brown coming into the second row. Jason Adams in the front row, Troy Evans the hooker, and John Elordi the other front rower. The coach is David Brown. And here come the Panthers from the dressing shed up at the back of Purtell Park. The fullback is Brent Gannon. On one wing, John Green. In the centres, Sam Smith and Graham Strutton. Mark Maguire on the other wing. Craig Bowen at 5'8". Gavin Duncan is the halfback. Paul Tanks is the lock forward. In the second row, Paul Schuller alongside Steve Mills. And the front row, Darren Shaw, Paul Fitzgerald and Mark O'Reilly. The coach is Gary Grenke. Steve Mills in the second row for West today. PE teacher, played with the Canberra Reserve Grade Grand Final side 2 years ago. And Craig Groff at halfback for Norths, played in the State League and also in the Queensland Residents representative team. The referee is John Topp, and play underway from the boot of Guy Harvey, who was in doubt for this match with an ankle injury but has taken his place on the wing for Norths. And Mills brings it back hard for West. Paul Tanks has a go, trying to take it up the centre. Plenty of defence comes in from Norths. O'Reilly, Mark O'Reilly, the front rower. And back to Duncan for the kick. And Tom, I'm sure we'll see a lot more of Gavin Duncan kicking.
Oh, Gavin Duncan, he's a little general. He calls all the shots for West, and Norths must make sure that they do just tie him up.
North just short of halfway, with Cramery making good ground. In the first round, Norths defeated West 26-4, the second match of the season. The West coach Gary Grenke believes his side is much improved on the early stage of the season. Much more settled now with Gavin Duncan at halfback. He is a key figure with his organisation and kicking. Here's Chumavave up in the back line, but swung to ground. Moving up smartly with Sam Smith. Groff tries to kick from dummy half. The penalty has gone against Norths. I believe that could be for offside inside the 5 metres. I guess you could say exploiting the downtown. The attacking side trying to get the kick away and get the chasers downfield early. 20-metre line marked here at Purtell Park, following on from the International Board's ruling. And Gavin Duncan ducks under a tackle. He's bounced back to his feet. It was McKenzie who almost missed him, and McKenzie has been hurt in the tackle. He's hobbling as Mills goes forward. He's only 5 metres out. West with options either side. Mills to play it back. Out it comes to Shaw. Gets a pass away on it. Out it comes to Schuller. He's close. Only a couple of metres out. Early chance here for West. Swinging it wide. Bowen holding the pass up, and O'Reilly running off him. Chumavave comes across the pass. Looked to have gone forward. It certainly didn't go to hand. And a real try-scoring opportunity goes astray with Mark O'Reilly, the front rower, running off Craig Bowen, the 5'8".
Yeah, good play here by Norths, but you watch Daryl Duncan. He saves a certain try here by knocking the ball forward, and West get the goal line drop out.
And not a bad tackle by Chumavave either. He made it difficult for O'Reilly, who was getting very close to the line. Here is Pat Chumavave to drop out. Coming down just short of halfway. Steve Mills, the second rower back there. He's a tall, strong man, and he powers upfield. Tackled 30 metres out.
Both sides here today are fielding giant packs of forwards. Now the clash between the forwards should be nothing but unbelievable.
Shaw offloads beautifully to Schuller, and Schuller's going to sprint away for the try. First try of the match, scored early on by West. Lovely short ball from Darren Shaw to Paul Schuller, bursting off his shoulder. The defence just that little bit suspect as he ducked under a tackle to get his head clear, and Schuller bursting on to the pass beautifully, evaded the diving tackle of Kellaway, one of the tacklers left behind.
Super work here by Darren Shaw. He actually ducks under the Norths players and gets a beautiful ball to Paul Schuller, and a great try. Now that's early, now that's going to really hurt Norths.
Paul Schuller in the second row, a 26-year-old carpenter, originally from Dalby. John Green with a tally of 82 points for the season. He scored 7 tries on the wing and kicked 27 goals. Very handy points accumulator for Wests. It's not an easy kick, and he doesn't really go close. And it's Wests leading 4 points to 0, just 4 minutes of play gone in the match.
You see bad defence here by Troy Evans, who allows Darren Shaw to get a beautiful ball to Paul Schuller, and he just pinned those ears back and scored a great try.
Now here's West with the ball, close to their own post though. Strutton putting his head down virtually, using a bit of a sidestep. Cut-out ball for Shaw. With the defence on him this time, and a weight to his ducking head. He ducked under the tackle earlier to create the try. That time it was well wrapped up by Jason Adams. Duncan with the kick, end over end. Mavavi has it covered. Plenty of defence down there. Strutton the first man in to make the tackle. And with no rain in Brisbane over the last week or so, we've got a hard, dry track made for a fast open game, Tom.
It should be a fast open game. Here we see Craig Ruff. He's trying to get the Norths players on the move going forward. He's running across field trying to pick up players.
Now it's Evans, a fiery customer. He was involved in the scrum eruption which led to the sending off of John Elordi last week. As Kellaway tries to throw the dummy and make inroads, but the defence read it well. Last tackle, Duncan on the blind side. Drives the kick towards the corner post. It's gone into the in-goal area. Oh, mistake made by the fullback there. Brent Gannon put his foot touch in goal after and just after he had taken possession of the ball.
Well, Brett Gannon, he could honestly see that that ball was going to go dead in goal. Now, why did he ever pick it up? Like, sometimes footballs, you know, they're supposed to have brains, but it makes you think.
In fact, he very nearly puts his foot out before he takes the ball here. He may have done it, and if you're a tough marker, you might say that really that was touch in goal, but really his intention was to take that ball, and he simply should have kept his eye on the sideline.
Should have just left the ball go, and they would have had the 25 tap.
Absolutely. So North now, after the dropout, Wayne Brown with the headgear on.
Well, Wayne Brown, that headgear, it actually looks like a face mask, and he looks like somebody from out of the Gladiators.
And Elordi now, only 12 metres out. Groff, Duncan, Tierney. Tierney running well. Taken from behind by Mills. Good run, Noel Tierney, showing some pace, getting outside his man. Now it's Groff. Dummies inside, goes outside to Mackenzie. 12 metres out, it's the 5th tackle. They'll look to Daryl Duncan. No, in fact, it goes to Groff for the chip kick rather than the bomb. Back goes Gannon, and it goes over the dead ball line, so this will be a 22 tap. Useful kick, even though it did go dead. Bit of pressure there.
Yeah, he should have been a lot shorter of the kick, but the idea was right, but just a little bit too long.
Mills running inside Duncan, changing the angle well, with a good tackle from behind by Brown. Just short of halfway. Duncan running himself. Managed to break a couple of tackles, or they were missed. Mackenzie finally wrapped him up. Now it's Shaw. Looking inside, pops the pass back. Taken by Bowen. Taken from behind once more by Brown. It's the 5th tackle. There's more constructive attack by West. They work it wide. Tanks gets it out to the backs. Down the wing goes Maguire. Good pace too from Maguire on the last tackle to Mills, and backing up on the inside. West will score the try. Beautiful backing up from Paul Tanks to finish it off. They ran it on the last, and the speed down the wing of Maguire after they shoveled it wide to the overlap created the opportunity, and the forwards backed him up on the inside. From one side it went to the other. Duncan with the long pass Gets it out to Tanks, the man who eventually scored the try, through the hands of Smith to Mark Maguire, sprinting down the wing. The cover looked as if they could wrap him up. A tackle missed there, and the pass popped beautifully up and finally finished off by Paul Tanks.
Great pass actually from the halfback Gavin Duncan. Cut out a play and give the ball to Sam Smith, who gave it to Maguire, and a beautiful in pass here to Sammy Smith. And Sammy Smith then gets it on to Paul Tanks and scores a try, a great try actually.
Paul Tanks, a hard-working lock forward in this Western Suburbs outfit. The coach gives him a lot of credit for the amount of work he gets through. John Green, right in front of the posts, can add to his big points tally for the season here. This should pose no problems at all. Green, the 21-year-old groundsman, previously played with the Ipswich Jets, has no problems with that at all. And so West's establishing a tremendous early lead here. It's 10 points to 0 after just 12 minutes of play.
Two West players here touched the ball twice in this attacking movement. The players Sam Smith and Paul Tanks. And Paul Tanks, he runs onto the ball beautifully off Sam Smith's pass, and that try with only 12 minutes of play, well, doesn't look real good for Norths at this stage.
Oh, Mills makes a mistake. He knocks on the kick-off. So this gives Norths a chance to reply, and they need to. Two quick tries early in the match.
Yeah, bad mistake by Steve Mills. He's been having a very good game early in the match, but an awful mistake, and puts Norths West under awful pressure.
Duncan standing out, the scrum at 5'8". He's held. They're only 10 metres out. Now it's Kellaway. Pass came to him a little slowly. He didn't have much time to think once he got it. Elordi charges the line. Only 5 metres out. Evans a dummy half. Draw. Duncan powers onto it and he goes straight through. Daryl Duncan hits back with a solo effort, just one off the ruck. West defence was tested and failed. The burly figure of Tank Duncan crashing through. But look at this pass from Gorp. He held it up nicely for him, and I think it was smart. Paul Schuller couldn't hold on to the frame of Daryl Duncan.
Good work here by Tank the Duncan, and he just takes the West defence on, and a good individual try.
Daryl Duncan, 29 years of age, originally from Mount Isa, Rothmans medalist last year, scoring a try that really should have been stopped by the defence. Guy Harvey right in front of the sticks. He joined Norths in 1986 and continues to pile on the points. 66 so far this season, and he kicks his 30th goal of the year. And that conversion brings Norths a little closer. It's West 10, North 6.
Norths looking awful trouble here there about 5 minutes ago, but Daryl Duncan just takes the defence on and gets Norths into a position now where they're right back into this match.
While Paul Schuller was unable to hold Daryl Duncan there, I suppose that close to your line, if you go one-on-one on a man the size and mobility of Duncan, it's always going to be hard, and the forwards either side really didn't give him much assistance.
Yeah, well, Daryl Duncan's got this thing sticking out of his stomach, which makes it very hard to tackle him.
Get your hands around him. I'm glad you're mates with him. Aren't you?
Yes.
There's Troy Evans a dummy half. Graw changes direction. Out of Shaw's tackle, taken by O'Reilly. Tanks was there as well. Kellaway, Duncan, cut out, passes a beauty to Tierney, but he couldn't hold his feet as Green came in to make the tackle from the wing. Now Graw launches the kick. Doesn't get all that much depth down to Gannon, and no real chasers either. Kellaway, the first man up there. No one wanted to take it forward, and in the end, Bowen had to go himself. West's a little slow to get back that time. Now Schuller, taken. Duncan on the blind side. Tanks. 10 metres inside North's half. Duncan gives it to Mills. stands in the tackle. Back to Duncan. Keeps it going. Strutton steps well. Still alive. Finally dragged down from behind by Kellaway. Brown over the top. It's the 5th tackle. Duncan kicks and drives it over the touchline. Thought to put it in. And Duncan was coming around very quickly. He didn't really wait for that ball to come out of the scrum at all. He was straight around on top of his opposite number. So the penalty goes to Norths. Touch found by Grawp off his left boot, midway between Norths quarter and halfway as Evans takes it, and here comes Elordi on the burst. And he was taken a little high there, didn't do much damage. The arm was swinging in high from Schuller.
Well, I don't think this awarded a penalty and wasn't necessary. The tackle was actually around the shoulders and a bit unlucky there.
Can't agree. He hit him in the neck, and the new rule says you're not allowed to touch their neck.
Well, John Elordi, he's built like a mountain. Look at him.
Here he
take
goes
the,
again.
He
It certainly didn't do any damage. I think he's gone faster this time.
Well, Warren, John Elordi's 10 foot tall, so it's very, very hard to tackle him if you want to stop ball and all.
As Adams plays it back, out it goes to Brown. He's on the West 22. Kellaway, Duncan with the quick hands, almost intercepted at 6 more tackles, but West have got it. And the referee says it was knocked on, well, which it was, as Green was ready to sprint away, only Chumavave coming across. It was touched and knocked forward by a West hand here, as Duncan tried to get the quick ball away, and there it was, just touched and knocked on. From the scrum win, Norths have it. Duncan. This time it is intercepted by Green. I don't think anyone's going to catch him this time. Kelso gives chase. Elordi, the front rower, can't get there. Kellaway has a go. Well, they had 2 shots at it, and they should have learnt the first time the danger, Norths, of trying to throw the pass with Green, looking for the intercept, and John Green, the winger, has sprinted away for a superb try. He's got plenty of pace, and there it was, plucking it out of the air as Chumavave was about to take the pass. Kelso tried to turn and chase, but Green striding out beautifully, a well-balanced running style there, and none of the Norths players looked like threatening him. John Elordi did well to give chase. The big front rower did pretty well to even hang in there.
Daryl Duncan, he's playing as an extra 5'8". He tries to cut the player out here, but Green, he was thinking all the time, seen that the ball could be intercepted, and did a very, very good job and showed a clean pair of heels.
John Green scoring his 8th try of the season in his 8th match for Wests of the year. So he's averaging pretty well. He's one of West's 4 State League representatives, along with Smith, Bowen and O'Reilly. This is a difficult kick, just a couple of metres in from touch. He's allowed a little better this time. Not quite the legs on it though, and it just swung across the face, missing 2 shots at goal from similar positions, but West's leading 14 points to 6.
Daryl Duncan's idea here is good, but what he should have done, he should have kept the ball himself and taken the tackle, and what happens? Green, he's Johnny on the spot, a beautiful intercepted pass and a great run for the line, and good try.
Temptation too much for Daryl Duncan that time. Mills brings the kick-off back. So we've had 4 tries scored and we've only had 22 minutes of play.
Number 15 for Norths, Jason Adams, wearing the arm guard. He's doing a tremendous amount of work and putting in some great tackles.
Now Smith breaks loose and he's got Maguire with him down the touchline. Maguire comes to the fullback. Chumavave beats him with the left foot sidestep and races around. That's a great sprint by the winger and the sidestep. We've seen him go down the far touchline twice. Both times he's used a left foot sidestep to beat his opponent. Earlier on it was his opposite winger Danny Cramery. That time it was the fullback Chumavave. beaten by the step, but it all started right back on their own side of halfway. Shaw with a good burst. Sam Smith broke the line. He immediately handed it to his winger. He outpaces Adams at that point. Inside Tumavavi, who had a difficult task there with plenty of support on the inside for the winger. And Maguire scores a great try.
Darren Shaw in everything. Here he actually puts Sam Smith away. He gives a beautiful ball to Maguire. But what a woeful tackle by Pat Tumavavi. If he would have made that tackle, Maguire's head would have been in the beer stand.
Mark Maguire, only 20 years of age, a university student, showing plenty of brains there. He knew exactly where the line was. That was Mark Maguire's 7th try of the year. So he and John Green, both wingers, proving to be try scorers of great ability. And this is Green, where the kickers love to be, right in front of the black dot. And no problems whatsoever. So we're seeing a point-scoring feast here as Wests have raced away to a 20 points to 6 lead after just 24 minutes of play.
West here through Darren Shaw. They're showing some great skills. And look at Smith bursting through here. And Maguire showing tons of speed. But Pat Tumavavi, woeful tackle. If there's any kids watching, that's how not to tackle. And if I was the coach, I don't think he'd be out there too long.
Now Norths need to keep West here. Shaw taken by Evans as he came inside Kellaway. Fitzgerald at dummy half. Pops it out to Tanks. "30 metres out from their own line with Duncan kicking. Down to Harvey. He almost lost his footing. I wonder how secure his ankle is. Tumavavi. Taken from behind by Green. 1 metre short of halfway. Brown. Looking for support. There was none there.
Jason Adams very, very slow to get back into the attack for Norths, and it just shows he might be lacking that match fitness.
Wayne Brown down injured. Duncan throws the late pass out. They weren't ready for it. Kellaway kicked it forward, and it's play on with 6 more tackles. That ball came off Kellaway's boot. Groff. McKenzie. He's held. Cramery was backing him up. Groff with Tierney, who's looked dangerous a number of times, but he's held this time. 10 metres out. Evans. Still on his feet, still going, Troy Evans. Oh, bad play the ball. Poor play the ball by Troy Evans. He's lost it. I don't think he even attempted to play it properly.
Well, Norths have been attacking in the West 25 now for, 10 minutes? And for them to make a mistake like that when it should have been try time, that's kids' football.
Evans had players all over him, but it was up to him. He was the one who had to leave that to the referee and simply play the ball in the correct manner. They're panicking, aren't they?
They are panicking, and especially with a player like Troy Evans, he should know better.
Wests have got it.
Oh no, it's number 10.
Wayne Brown is off the field for Norths, succumbing to that injury. And Joe Topping on, and here go West from their own quarter. Smith going well, still going Sam Smith. Pops a pass out, but it went too hard towards Maguire.
Sam Smith, he's having a great game here for West, but then again, an awful basic mistake. He should have hung on to the football.
They're breaking from their own 22 all the time. The North defence isn't holding them down there. Tierney.
Tierney does look dangerous when he handles this ball. He just looks like he's going to make that break.
Kelso goes himself. Back to Evans. Was flat. Not quite forward enough to be called forward. Now Elordi, he also very flat off the dummy half. Groff cuts from one side of the ruck to the other. Duncan with Kelso. Trying to find Tumavavi on the inside.
Brett Kelso standing a little bit flat. He should be really just flying onto this football.
Pass is touched. 6 more tackles. Rourke really throwing a pass that wasn't on, but he's luckily come up with 6 more. Now it's Kellaway. 25 metres out. Duncan takes them on himself. Evans makes a few metres, but the defence held.
West defence here, very, very good, like Norths applying the pressure, but they just haven't broken.
Finally, the penalty goes to Norths. West have been hanging on. And that time, Evans drawing the penalty. Schuller wouldn't get away from him. They fine touch. They're not going for the 2-pointers. They want some tries to get back into this match. Topping is close.
Well, if Norths don't score in this position, well, they're going to do it very, very tough for the remainder of this match.
Rourke to Kellaway. Ducks under the tackle of Gannon. Tierney. Beautiful ball for Kelso. Only a few metres out. Player down for Norths. Rourke gets it to Elordi. Throws it on the ground. Makes the mistake. Schuller picks it up. So once again, Norths blowing the chance.
Yeah, John Elordi taking that ball up. He should have hung on to it. Shouldn't have tried to pass it.
And here goes Strutton. Strutton from 10 metres out from his own line. He's got support either side. Duncan, chased by Harvey. The halfback and the winger. Gavin Duncan racing away from Guy Harvey. They've gone from one end of the field to the other yet again. Norths can just hang their heads in shame. Fine play by Strutton, Graham Strutton, bursting away, stepping off his right foot to break the tackle. They found a little bit of space out wide, and then he had a man on either side. He went inside to Gavin Duncan, and chased by Guy Harvey. He had the pace. He was struggling over the last few metres, but he made it well and truly, and jubilation for him.
What about North's defence? That set up this try, and the little halfback, Gavin Duncan, they've got to start setting traps for this little bloke.
You can hear Daryl Duncan laying down the law to his team. He's disgusted with this effort. Duncan shattered by this performance. As he said, they're only halfway through the match and the points are pouring on the scoreboard. John Green, he's been right in front of the sticks nearly every time he's shot for goal, and he makes no mistake. This is an embarrassing scoreline. It's West 26, North 6, with 5 minutes still remaining in the first half.
West Graham Strutton, look, he really shows a great turn of pace here, but look at the West player. Inside him there is the young halfback, Gavin Duncan, and on the outside is John Green. Beautiful football there by West. All the team very keen, always backing up, and I think that's the North's last shot.
The play gets underway once more as Mills threatened to go straight through. If someone had walked into the ground, they'd think this must have been the second half, looking at the scoreboard. The penalty has gone to West, and I think it's against Troy Evans, is it? Coming in over the top with the elbow. Now the touch judge is in. Joe Topping is going to be cautioned as well. He threw the boot of one of the West players into the crowd. I don't think he can get sent off for that. Fitzgerald will take the tap just inside North's half.
I remember playing in England at Oxford Stadium, and one of the Englishmen lost his boot. What I did, I hid the boot up my jumper and they couldn't find it. So it has been done before.
Here's Fitzgerald dancing around. Duncan. Bowen. Here's the danger men out wide. This time The execution not quite there. Thrown back to Mills. Smith found himself in a bit of trouble. Now they've lost ground.
Daryl Duncan, I can see you just limping there, and that could have been that mystery injury. I think he's got a crook ankle.
Well, he's been working as hard as any of the Norths players, but really in defence, there's not too many of them.
Well, that is a disgrace. He's their captain with a crook ankle, and his players just aren't doing the work.
Duncan going for field goal. And it's very close. It's there. Gavin Duncan. Well, that really is just an insult to them, isn't it? He's just saying, you guys can't play. We're winning this match by so far, even though there's a couple of minutes to go in the half, we'll go for the one-pointers. Here it is from 30 metres out. That's a beautiful kick. Well, Tom, as a former Norths coach, you're shaking your head.
Well, 2 weeks ago, their coach, Dave Brown, he said their side was more disciplined this year than they were last year. In the last 2 weeks, he's had 2 players sent off. They're out here making basic mistakes. Top statement, Dave Brown.
And Mark Kellaway has left the field for Norths, and Andrew Stevens is on, wearing number 14. We'll see if he can make an impact.
The one thing about Andrew Stevens, he came from Mackay last year. One thing about him, he'll try his heart out. He's actually a good player.
Duncan, Shaw, Tanks couldn't hang on to it, and Evans has got it. And a few words spoken between Shaw, who laughs in the face of Evans. Norths will want to watch them that they don't get frustrated. They have got a couple of fiery customers. Kelso, Stevens.
I don't know what's wrong with Brett Kelso. He just doesn't seem to be getting involved in the play. He's a better player than that.
Adams makes a burst right on the half-time siren, but Wests have scored 5 tries to 1 to demolish the efforts of Norths in this first half, and it's West 27 leading North 6. Let's take a look at the statistics in this lopsided first half. The scrums are 3 apiece, none against the feed. The penalties have gone to Norths 4-2. And overall possession, dead even, but Norths are wasting their possession. Errors, well, look at the missed tackles by the Devils, 21 in all. Their handling hasn't been good either. 3 bad passes, 4 drop balls, 28 errors in all for Norths to 11 by Wests. The second half underway, and I'm sure the Norths players' ears are burning from what surely would have been a rip-roaring half-time delivery from Dave Brown, Tom.
Well, Dave Brown, I'm sure, would have just told them actually to keep their cool. But what they've got to do, they just have to stop making these silly mistakes and don't miss tackles. Simple as that.
In the first half, the tackles look like this. Schuller leading the way for West with 14, Fitzgerald and O'Reilly 13. For Norths, well, we know they were missing a lot of tackles. The men who were making them were Wade and Brown leading the way with Jason Adams on 12. Wayne Brown off the field now, and Mackenzie 11. Groff gets his kick away. But it wasn't just missed tackles, Tom. The problem for West also, for Norths, was that when they were getting into attacking positions, they were throwing the ball away.
Yeah, silly mistakes, and just watching that first half, do you think that the young halfback, Gavin Duncan, do you think he's got some kind of disease or something, Warren? Why I say this is that Norths are not putting him under pressure. They're letting him run the race, just letting him do what he wants to do.
And now a penalty goes to West against Troy Evans, and lying prone on the ground is Darren Shaw, who Evans had a run-in with in the first half, and there it is, a big swinging arm over the top. Looked like it missed, though. Evans might have got him the second time, did he? No. The referee had already given the penalty, and I think Shaw decided to take a dive, but the swinging arm was crook. Now Wilson, the replacement. Bowen goes into dummy half. 30 metres out. Bowen claps on the pace now, hesitated for a moment.
Well, this is the first time West have been in North's half in this second half. Now, let's see how North's defence, can they hang on this time?
It's important the North's defence doesn't crack. All the good work will be lost. Now the penalty goes to West. It's against Evans. And he's been sent off for an elbow. And Gavin Duncan sends him on his way. The elbow to Mark O'Reilly. And Norths, for the third week in a row, have had a player sent off. Troy Evans has already been cautioned twice in the match.
Yeah, Troy Evans goes in to tackle the West player, and the elbow did come up, and that's not disciplined play.
North's coach Dave Brown watching his team disintegrate here. They've been clobbered on the scoreboard, and now they're down to 12 men. Green with the chance to put the first points of the second half on the board, with Troy Evans sent off, and the penalty very close to the post. And Green thumps it between the uprights. It's taken 12 minutes of the second half, mainly dominated by Norths, but West put the points on, and it's 29-6. West coach Gary Grenke had the reserves last year, in charge of the first grade, and he'd be pretty happy with this performance. Raw feeds the scrum. Harvey in from the wing. Back to Cramery. Topping. So Topping finding that it's pretty hard to come into a side which is down by 20 plus points as a replacement and turn the game around. Now Duncan gets it to Elordi, who's worked hard. Elordi certainly hits the line, but he goes very straight, which makes him a predictable target.
But at least he is looking to get the ball away, and I think he's had a fair game.
Absolutely. He's led from the front. He's taken the defence on. Now West up inside the 5. Groff quickly takes the kick, picks up 15 metres.
Yeah, West here are offside, and a good decision by referee Topo, who I think's had a very, very good game.
That's Jason Adams. Takes it to the West 22. Duncan. Kelso.
Brett Kelso's, he wants to run a lot more here.
Cramery has a go. Mackenzie. North's looking for their second try of the match. Groff. Little kick up looked like it came off his knee, but Gannon is there. Safe as houses.
Great defence here by West. On numerous occasions, Norths have put the pressure on them, but they are a set of 6 West. They've done a tremendous job here today.
And now it's Norths up inside the 5 metres, so the penalty goes to West. And Green will look for touch. The Hills behind on the Charlie Hurst Hill. Fitzgerald gives it to Green. And solid defence comes in from Adams. O'Reilly.
O'Reilly's a player. He very seldom gets big raps, but he does an awful damn lot of work for us in that front row position.
Now another penalty against North for up inside the 5 metres. Within kicking range. Wonder whether West will go for the try or not. I thought West might have been hungry to score more tries, but they're going to close it down with the 2-pointers.
Yeah, well, I think it's a real good decision by West. All their players, they've been doing it nice and hard, and a wrestle do them the world of good.
Green just outside the posts and straight between those uprights once again. He's kicked 5 from 7. It's West 31, North 6 with 21 minutes of play remaining. Paul Fitzgerald has left the field for West after making 23 tackles, the leading tackler for the Panthers. He's been replaced by Peter Liddell, wearing number 14.
That's a good effort there by number 9, Paul Fitzgerald for West. For a hooker to be leading the tackle count, that is really a big effort.
Shaw, taken by McKenzie. Back to Duncan for the kick. They haven't been able to get to him today. Shumavavi takes it on the full. Strutting down there, good defence. Topping, runs into O'Reilly. On the halfway line. Adams. There's not a lot of sting left in Norths now. Duncan. McKenzie.
Hold it, Macca, hold it.
Duncan goes up to dummy half. They're one man down. Evans was playing dummy half earlier on. Here's Elordi. 22 metres out. Last tackle. Groff puts it up. High, pressure on Gannon. Groff flew as well. Gannon takes it brilliantly. He's done a good job back there.
Brent Gannon, he has had a really good game. Doesn't take his eye off the ball, and typical Aussie rule style, doesn't drop it.
Gannon has had to field a few kicks along the ground. He's also shown us that he can take the high ball with that one. Green with the dropout. Topping looked to have it covered, but in the end it's Cramery. Tackled by Shaw. Adams. Groff. Elordi. He runs into trouble. Solid defence.
Great defence here by West. O'Reilly, Shaw, Wilk, Mills and Schuller. They're doing a tremendous job.
And Liddell, the replacement player, in there as well now in the defensive roles. Duncan shoves one player away. It's the 5th tackle. 20 metres out. Groff. Tests Gannon again. There's plenty of chases through him. The post in the road as well. It's anyone's ball. It came off Topping and went forward. But a great bomb. That really put the squeeze on the fullback that time.
Put a lot of pressure under Brent Gannon, but he did go up for the ball. Came off his shoulder, but Joe Topping did knock the ball forward. But it does give Norths the chance now to apply even more pressure.
And Norths have got it. Chumavavi. Groff, the pass was knocked down, and then Norths knock it on as well. Double knock on. And Matt Curtis is on the field now for Norths. He's gone on the wing, wearing 16. Noel Tierney off. Kelso, who, having moved into 5'8", was getting the back line moving early in this half, but now the Norths momentum seems to have been pretty much stopped. A try might pick them up though, and they're only 10 metres out. Duncan. Shaw tried to take him ball and all, couldn't wrap him up.
Still trying his hard out.
Chance for Groff here. The hole is opened up. Oh, you can see it coming a mile. There was a huge hole on the outside, and the Norths players didn't move to close it. Groff scores the easiest of tries. 31 points to 10 in favour of West. Look at this. Craig Groff sees a big hole there as Graham Strutton came up on the outside. Mark O'Reilly couldn't close it from the inside. Not enough communication there.
Good individual try here by Craig Groff. He's been trying all day. He hasn't given up hope in a good try.
6th try of the season for Craig Groff, who played in the Queensland residence team, which played a 14-all draw with the Sydney Metropolitan Cup representative side. Guy Harvey, just a couple of metres to the side of the posts, and he doesn't miss very many from that close. So West put first points for them of the second half on the board, but still a long way to go. They're down 31-12. Should say North scoring that try.
Yeah, West failing here to bring their defence in tight, which Graham Strutton, he didn't come in tight enough, leaving the gap there for Craig Groff to score a well-deserved try. 16
minutes of play remaining. And Still the difference is 19 points. So you would think it's well beyond Norths with only 12 men on the field. I'm sure at half-time, Dave Brown would have told them, well, if they can score 5 tries in the first half, we can do it in the second.
And they still have got enough time, believe it or not. More amazing things have been done.
Groff gets it out to Kelso. Shumavavi up in the line. Gives it to Harvey down the touchline. Green, well, knocked him off balance, and he's finished off by Strutton. Hit a touch and lost the ball as he was going over the touchline. North's winning the scrum, 7-5, but none have gone against the feed. Here's Strutton out in the centres. Good tackle by Stevens. Now it's Liddell, but he's got nowhere to go. They're not making too much ground at the moment, West.
Not going forward, the West players. They've seemed to have gone into a little bit of a hole here. They've been under enormous pressure, and they have broken only the once.
Mills dropped it backwards. The referee said it went forward. That might have been a little bit tough. Mills was fighting to offload the pass.
Yeah, Mills here. And actually, I think this was a good pass, and a bit unfortunate that the scrum was put down.
Looked as if it came back from Mills' hand and then might have been knocked forward by a North's hand on the way through. Duncan, Shumavavi, inside to Harvey. Harvey splits him, the fullback in front of him, and beats him too. Some poor defence by Brent Gannon that time. Harvey scores a try, so Norths have scored 2 tries in 2 minutes. And, well, if stranger things have happened in the past, maybe it's not all over.
It's not all over, I don't feel. And Daryl Duncan picks the blind side, picks Tumavavi up, and a good inside pass to Guy Harvey. Now, Guy Harvey's very, very strong, and he just pushes off the West player and scores a great try.
I think there was some confusion in the defence there at the back. The fullback and the winger virtually leaving it for each other. But good football by Norths. They're 1 man down. You wonder how they could work to an overlap, but it was the inside ball, not so much the overlap. The change of direction put Harvey into space. Green had Harvey marked, but I think he left him for Gannon. He could easily have tackled him from behind. They got in each other's road virtually, and Harvey scores the try. Guy Harvey with a difficult kick this time. It's 10 metres in from touch. No wind to worry about particularly. Got another good kick here. Will lift his side, and it's going close, but waved away. And the score remains West 31, Norths 16. We've got about 10 minutes of play remaining.
Yeah, the tale of 2 halves here. West on top in the first half. Norths applying some awful pressure here in the second half. But good work here by Norths, especially the winger Guy Harvey. And he scored a deserved try.
Pretty ordinary defence, though. So Norths will have to throw the ball around. Cramery brings it back. Weight of possession swinging in this half. Norths have had the ball for 60 tackles and West just 34. So that's given the Devils the chance to mount some attack. Curtis, Matt Curtis, 6 metres short of halfway.
When sides are leading by the majority like the Wests.
Kelso makes the break, gets it to Stevens, hurdling over the top of players. He holds onto the ball well, couldn't get a good pass away, kept it. Curtis a dummy half. Groff, grandstand finish as Norths come home to Duncan, but the pass from Curtis floated forward. Duncan hitting it on the burst, the pass just that fraction forward. Only just as Curtis was coming backwards. As he got the pass away, he was moving backwards, which sometimes makes the pass look more forward than it really is, but I think the referee was on the spot.
He was on the spot. A little bit unfortunate there for Norths. They were applying pressure, and they've won the ball against the feed.
Against the feed, so they keep the momentum, just as that pass looked like it had knocked the momentum out of Norths. Here they are, firing up, coming home strong. Cramery's pass evades Curtis. He dives back on it. It's good to see. This is showing some character from the Devils. Kelso knocked over. Norths want to steady up this defence. Here's Elordi, bursts through 2 tackles, does well. Gets to the 22. Groff, men inside and out. Goes to Adams. North's defence, or West defence hanging on. To the last tackle now. Duncan puts a little kick through. Green will be caught in the in-goal area. Plenty of pressure there from the kick of Daryl Duncan and a good chase from North. Haven't they picked up their game?
Well, a great little grubber kick here by Daryl Duncan, but in the first half, the Norths players weren't chasing the ball. Look here, you see 4 to 5 Norths players in that in-goal area. Good work, but a bit late.
There's one team that know all about exciting finishes. It's West, after that barnstorming finish against Valleys a few weeks back. It was a real cliffhanger. They seem to be comfortably ahead here, but Norths have thrown everything at them in the last 10 minutes. Stevens does well. Didn't have the support when he needed it. Now it's Kelso to Topping. 10 metres inside West half.
I'm sure when the side's read out at Norths next Tuesday night that Andrew Stevens, he'll be a special to be selected because he never stops trying.
This is play on. Groff following it through. Gannon gets back and Groff pins him in the in-goal area with help from Harvey. Some good soccer work from Daryl Duncan on the way through, and Groff kept it going.
Yeah, Daryl Duncan, a little chip over the top here, and he kicks it forward again there, a la soccer style. Craig Groff follows the ball through, and Norths, or actually West, will have the goal line dropout.
Referee insisting that West stay behind the kicker, which is good to see. And this is Peter Gibson bringing it back for North. Harvey. West defence is weakening. Harvey shouldn't be able to make that kind of ground up the middle. Elordi trying to get his arms over the top. He's only a few metres out. They go back to the blind side. Duncan trying to forge his way through. He's held up over the line, fighting to get it down. Kelso in a dummy half. There's plenty of defence in close to the ruck. Groff inside to Adams, may have been the wrong way to go. West did have the centre of the ruck pretty well packed.
The North's backs all set out here to swing this ball wide, but Craig Groff decides to go to the blind.
Strutton is offside as it came off one of his teammates, but in the end Mills dives on it. He came from an onside position.
Good work here by Strutton because he knew he was in the offside position, but doesn't touch the ball. Allows the Norths player to dive on it because he knew it was the last tackle. That's pretty good thinking.
And Mills did well too. It came off his legs and he came through and cleaned it up. Groff has it from the scrum win. Out to Kelso, spinning out of the tackle. North coming around. Elordi. You can hear the call off the line from West, meaning get up quickly off this goal line. Move to the attack. Don't stand and wait for them. Groff inside to Duncan, over the top to Kelso. He's held. West defence hanging on grimly here. They're keeping it in tight. There are holes on the wing. Groff throws the dummy. And once more they hold.
We're still short on the blind side. Why didn't they go down there?
Topping has a go. Once more the brick wall defence.
Good defence here by West.
Duncan goes over. Over the top. There's Daryl Duncan, the old war cry, over the top and over the line. And he gets it down. I guess they had so many shots at it from so close. Eventually they had to score. West 31, North 20. It wasn't pretty, but power won out here. Power and size as Bowen tried to hold Daryl Duncan. Did well to almost stop the ball being forced, but Duncan too strong. Guy Harvey lands 2 more points. So it's been all Norths on the scoreboard in the second half. If not for that huge start that they conceded in the first 40 minutes, they'd be right in this game. It's 31-22. Full-time siren sounds. Play unable to get underway after that final try. It was 27-6 at half-time in favour of West. And they've held on through the second half, despite Norths coming back at them. Final score, West 31, Norths 22. Though West's had it in the bag right throughout the match, it ended up just 5 tries to 4. For West, the try scorers, Schuller, Tanks, Green, Maguire and Duncan. Green kicking 5 from 7 and Gavin Duncan a field goal. For the Devils, Darryl Duncan scored 2 tries, Groff and Harvey 1 each, and Harvey kicked 3 from 4. The West forwards set it up in that first half, and our Lang Park Trust man of the match goes to front rower Darren Shaw. Darren, did you expect Norths to cave in the way they did in that first half?
No, we weren't expecting that at all. We were expecting a hard game coming out straight away with a big pack and that, but we weren't expecting that whatsoever, no.
How did you manage to get on top of them so easily? Players like yourself making lots of ground?
Yeah, well, that was our game plan. We knew our forwards had to go forward. We had to get a bit of a lead on, let our backs do the work. We've got a very good back line, and they did the job in the first half. Yeah.
One player sent off. How fiery was it at times?
Yeah, got a bit niggly here and there, but as I said, that's part of the game, but so it's nothing much really.
Now, West's move up to equal second place. It was an important win. Can you go on with it from here?
Yeah, we're hoping to. We're looking for a 1-2 come semi-final time, and if we can keep going along, get a few wins under our belt, we'll be happy then, yeah.
Suppose you're pleased to see front rowers winning Man of the Match awards.
Oh, I don't know.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
In the other results, Valley's hopes took a battering with Brothers defeating them 32-26. East shut out Wynnum 22-0. Souths had a big win over Redcliffe, keeping them scoreless and scoring 40 points, 40-0. And at North Ipswich, Ipswich 24 defeated